Good afternoon. Back at it. What's up, guys? We're gonna get into this. No official notifications. I had a 30-minute notification, but no official notifications. So if you could help me out with the like button, please. Lily and Jack Sullivan missing out of Nova Scotia. Okay, Nova Scotia. Weird, mysterious disappearance, foul play, or an accident. Did they just wander off? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Two siblings missing. They said went out of the backyard, or rather the back door of the house. Was it a sliding door? We gotta look at that picture again. Weird. What is going on, man? A lot of people have been talking about this story. Lily's 6 years old. Jack is 4. There's a mother and a stepfather. Mother's name is Malaya Brooks Murray. Stepdad is Daniel Martell. So we're gonna go through the timeline, and then I'm gonna go through an article that's has really nice pictures and details, and watch some videos and interviews and talk about this case and kind of get your thoughts about this. Let me just give you the brief timeline, and then we'll go through it in detail. So April 29th, 2025, on a Tuesday, Lily and Jack went to school. April 30th, on Wednesday, the schools were closed for National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. On May 1st, the children stayed home. Lily is reportedly ill with a cough. And then Friday, May 2nd, the parents, Malaya and Daniel, realized that both kids are missing. We're going to get into more details about that morning, because I had read in an article that they were attending to the baby. So in that household, I believe there's the mother, the stepfather, Lily, Jack, and then a newborn baby. And so supposedly they were tending to the newborn baby that morning, and the two kids just disappeared. So I believe 10 a.m., 911 is called to report the disappearance. 11 a.m., a vulnerable missing persons advisory was issued. And this massive search starts. Helicopters, police dogs, drones. On May 3rd, Saturday, 160 trained searchers joined the multi-agency search. Infrared technology. How far could these kids have gotten? How far could they have gotten? The RCMP state says that there's no evidence of foul play or abduction at this time. An Amber Alert is not issued. A vulnerable persons alert is broadcasted locally. That was May 5th. May 6th, items are found, including a child's clothing and water bottle. I'm going to have to look into that. This got this from Crime Timeline. The children's stepfather states these items do not belong to Lily or Jack, and they're raising questions about the origin. So they said they didn't belong to them. And all right, so let's get into some of these details here. Let me see what looks best here. Nova Scotia children missing. We have a press conference too that we can play. And here's a timeline. Here's a timeline. Picture what the place looks like out front. The whole autistic thing, people are saying, somebody was saying they're autistic. Some of the articles had said the mother had said that both of them are autistic, but like on the, I don't know if she said the lower end. So this is the house right there. Lily and Jack Sullivan, along with their mother, Malaya, baby sister Meadow, moved to the community 2 years ago into the childhood home of Daniel Martel. That's the stepfather. So this is a picture of it right there. Okay. The mysterious disappearance of the two children from their mobile home in the rural Nova Scotia hamlet of Lansdowne has captured headlines around the world. It's been more than a week since police and search and rescue teams began scouring the thickly wooded land and waterways, searching for any trace of 6-year-old Lily and her 4-year-old brother Jack. The community is far-flung corner of Pictou, I don't even know how to pronounce that, with the closest town a 15-minute drive away. A few local cars, logging trucks, and a big yellow school bus are usually the only traffic to be seen. A network of backcountry roads that only the locals know crisscross rivers and dense forests swarming with black flies. There's no cellular service. Holy crap. Many of the roughly 100 people who live in Lansdowne are related, cousins, fathers, uncles, and have been there for generations. So everybody knows everybody. Lily and Jack, along with their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, and baby sister Meadow, moved to the community 2 years ago into the childhood home of Daniel, who describes himself as the missing children's stepfather. And we're going to talk about him because I think there's a clip of him saying that, you know, if you want me to take a polygraph, I'll take a polygraph. The children's biological father has no contact with them, according to their family. And I was wondering, what's up with the biological dad? Mr. Martel's mother also lives on the property in a dilapidated camper with multiple cats and a dog. It overlooks the fenced-in backyard, and that's another topic that's going to come up. Fenced-in backyard, because people are saying, well, how did the kids get out? How did they slip out? And the place was like enclosed. Where did the kids go? How did, where Miss Brooks Murray and Mr. Martel reported they must have escaped and wandered off. The following is a timeline of the search of the two missing children so far. April 29th, the last day, Lily and Jack Sullivan attended Salt Springs Elementary, a small rural school about 18-kilometer bus ride from their home. There was no school the next day, and the children were kept home on May 1st and 2nd, owing to illnesses, according to Mr. Martel, which I think is kind of interesting, the timeline. You know, I guess it's coincidence. No problem, Toast. Appreciate it. If you guys can help me out with the like button, too. If you can help me out with the like button, no notifications. Okay. The timing of this, they go missing in the 2 days before they were sick, and so they stayed home from school. I guess coincidence. There's another picture. This is right here to the left is like that blue, I guess it's a trailer, what you call it. Little shed right there, swings. Wander from the backyard in their home. So that was April 29th, and then jumping to May 2nd at approximately 10 a.m., Miss Brooks Murray calls 911 to report Lily and Jack missing. RCMP issue a vulnerable missing persons alert and ask for the public's help in locating the children, who they say are believed to have wandered off from the home. Police do not issue an Amber Alert, saying the abduction appears unlikely. The picture of them here together, the siblings. Let's see if there's a video here.
The 6-year-old is the girl, I believe, and she's wearing pink.
Radio dispatch.
The 4-year-old is wearing some blue dinosaur boots. So, yeah, I think that's all we kind of have right now. Ask the risk manager if he wants Constable Mason to depart there to go get some phone service to send those images or not.
Go somewhere and get service and get those photos sent off. Just make sure Mom stays close to the house there in case they happen to sneak out and get back into the house. Copy, and just for everyone's awareness, based on the profile, the children could have traveled at least 6 kilometers. So keep that in mind.
Sergeant Young, for your awareness there, media release has been put out and a non-intrusive alert has been sent out for Victor County.
Perfect, thank you.
So that's May 2nd, 10 in the morning. May 3rd, RCMP issues a broadcast intrusive alert, a public cell phone notice that the children are missing to people in Antigonish, Colchester, and Pictou counties. The Mountainese Major Crimes Unit become involved in the investigation. May 3rd, Ms. Brooks and Mr. Martell attend a briefing at the search and rescue headquarters near Lansdowne Station Road. Mr. Martell and Ms. Brooks leaves midway through the update to sit in the back of an ambulance. She departs with her mother, and Mr. Martell said he hasn't seen her since. She cuts off contact with him after this. So that's sus as hell, okay? So the mother and the stepdad, and I read that somewhere else too, they're not talking for some reason. She's cut contact from him. What's up with that? Here's a map, Lansdowne Lake, the children's home, Garlic Road. Sounds like it says Garlic Road, Lansdowne Station Road, Lansdowne Station, former search headquarters. I was looking at the map a bit. Lansdowne Station Road, Garlic Road, children's home. I have to kind of find the exact location, but I was looking at it, and you could just to get an idea of how rural this place is. And it's cold. It's cold out there. Garlock. So rain complicates the search efforts, and search rescue teams work through a dense forest, boggy conditions. Drones equipped with infrared technology are used at night to look for any traces of the children. May 4th, Mr. Martell speaks to the Globe in the Mail about what happened on the morning the children went missing. So this is the story. Lily came into the room multiple times. I seen her that morning, and Jack was out playing in the kitchen. I'm guessing, and they slid open the back door, the back sliding door. It's almost like silent to hear it sliding. They slid it open. The boots were right beside the door, and they proceeded to, I'm guessing, playing outside. They must have got out the back fence, and then they were gone. As soon as I seen they were gone, I immediately jumped in the car and did all the dirt roads, all the culverts, checked over the rivers and streams. As soon as I got home, 10 minutes later, I headed out on foot. It's a stepfather right here, Daniel Martell. So he's saying that morning, Lily, the 6-year-old girl, she's coming in and out the room multiple times. And he said he saw her that morning, and Jack was playing in the kitchen, and then he thinks they slid out the back door. Let me show you this picture here. This back door right here. And you see how it's kind of like it's like fenced in too. So that's what the stepfather says. And there's been this massive search. On May 5th, searchers find no sign of the children despite heavy scanning of 4 square kilometer area around the mobile home. A report that a child's boot print is nearby sparks some focused searching on the area. May 6th, and here's a picture there. May 6th, Police take Mr. Martel to the Pictou County District RCMP detachment in the town of Stellarton, where he is questioned for hours. He said he was asked to go over details and timelines to the minute and draw on the maps where he thinks children could be. They're easy on me because they know I'm telling the truth about everything. It's sus. It's sus. I don't know. I mean, kids do run off, I guess, especially if they're autistic. The chief of, damn, the names out there are weird. Sipekini First Nation Michelle Glasgow addresses speculation around the case and asks people to refrain from jumping to conclusions or sharing unverified information. Good luck with that. Amy, Ground Search and Rescue, says search has been exhausting and thorough despite the difficult terrain. On May 7th, in the morning, RCMP arrives at the home and asks Mr. Martel to hand over his phone. Oh, shit. Which he did. When asked about how police are investigating the children's disappearance, maternal grandmother Cindy Murray tells the Globe, "We're not discussing anything right now. The police told us not to." There's some pictures. There's a press conference. We'll get to that. RCMP scaled back the search for Lily and Jack, acknowledging it's unlikely the children are still alive, which is horrible. Not surprising, but horrible. We're not packing up. We're not giving up. Mr. Martel said he handed over some of the children's stuffed animals to RCMP at the request of Miss Brooks Murray. Lily's white unicorn and Jack's blue dinosaur. He said he also gave police the baby's white giraffe and the mom's pink bear. Mr. Martel told the Globe that police advised him they were bringing a cadaver dogs and RCMP divers to search nearby Lansdowne Lake. Okay. I really wonder, it's suspicious that the mother and the stepdad during this time have a fallout. I feel like maybe she knows more. Maybe she suspected him of something. This is Lansdowne Lake right here. Huge lake. Lansdowne Lake. I mean, just look how rural this whole area is, man, to search. Massive search. And what was going on those days between let's see, they went to school April 29th. School was closed April 30th. And then the children remained home. Did it go to April 31st or was it just April 30th? Oh, it's just April 30th. Okay. And then they were home, supposedly sick, and then the day after go missing. What was going on that time that they were home? The day they were off? The day that they were sick? And then that morning. Where was mom? May 8th, RCMP searches the dense forest behind the home in a helicopter. Plainclothes investigators arrive again to speak with Mr. Martel. Basically, at this point, they just want to look at any tech that could help match up any phones that came into the yard. That afternoon, a friend drives him to the Children's Protective Services office where he requests to see his 16-month-old daughter, but is denied. As of now, I can't be around Meadow, he said during an interview the following day. With the kids going missing, Children's Protective Services wants to keep a tight leash on everything. Wow. Toys dot the dense woods just meters from the home of the missing siblings. Wow. School board and staff says teachers and students at Salt Springs Elementary have been provided with psychologists, counselors, and other resources to help with questions and providing a calm coping strategies during this difficult time. May 9th, Lily and Jack have been missing for more than a week. Mr. Martel says he's been exceedingly cooperative with investigators. I gave them everything from my phone. I asked for a lie detector test and drug tests. I'm the one trying to move this forward and give any information that I have. He adds that police are looking at the wireless router in the home to see who connected to the internet at what times. A large RCMP truck is in the area. Mr. Martel says RCMP scoured Lansdowne Lake from above by a helicopter and also went into the lake but found nothing. So he's saying he's cooperating. He's giving his phone. He's doing interviews. And they're checking the home Wi-Fi to see maybe somebody's, the phones, they auto-connect to Wi-Fi if you have it turned on. Maybe even if you have it turned off, maybe it still does it. But if you have it on, your Wi-Fi will try to kind of connect, or at least it'll be picked up by the router nearby. Some type of connection. They're able to do that. I think that's what they did with Koberger. Oh, he popped up on the connection. So let me play this clip here, and I have a couple other things to show videos regarding this story.
Of 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan. The siblings went missing last Friday.
Isn't it weird? Like, almost like Summer Wells. These kids that just disappear. Summer Wells, and who's the other one? Summer Wells. Oh, Sebastian Rogers, right? Too. Like, these kids just disappear.
Morning when it's believed they strayed from their home in Lansdowne Station. The CBC's Preston Mulligan joins us now live from the search area with the latest on the efforts. Preston.
Good evening, Tom. Well, as you said, yes, as we near the end of day 5 in the search for these 2 young children, sadly, there is still no good news report. The RCMP held a news conference a couple hours ago to give us an update. Basically, there's not much else to say other than the search for Lily and her brother Jack continues here and around these woods, in these deep woods in the Lansdowne area, just about 20 kilometers south of New Glasgow. Now, during that news conference, they did talk a bit about the resources they have in the air that are looking for these children. They talked about how the drones work. They have drones in the sky at night and at daytime. They have infrared sensors that are able to detect heat on the ground. But regardless of the number of drones, the search and rescue officials and the dogs that are combing through the woods, not to mention the helicopters that we hear constantly flying overhead, still no sign of the children. Hundreds of search and rescue personnel from all over the province are still here. Many of them have been combing through the woods here for about 5 days, taking time off from their jobs, their personal lives, and RCMP say they're getting exhausted.
Exhaustion and optimism, right? We want to bring these 2 children home to their parents. We've got people who've been here since day 1, since the first time the call came in. So they're tired and they're optimistic. They have one job. This is all search and rescue does, is they try to bring people home safely. So they're trying to stay on focus. They're trying to stay on mission. They're sacrificing their personal lives. They're sacrificing a lot to be here to try to help this family out, to bring these 2 children home.
Now, RCMP Search and Rescue are still working under the assumption that the 4- and 6-year-old wandered away from the home in Lansdowne, just south of New Glasgow, on Friday morning. Today, some of the family members walked me through into that wooded area directly adjacent to where they live, maybe 20-second walk from the home into the woods. And as you walk into the woods, there's a little, kind of a tree fort, a little lean-to, and that's where the kids would play. And the family around there say they find it very hard to believe that, given how thick the brush is on some of the steep banks around that area, and just the difficulty moving around if you sort of leave that trail, how difficult they find it to believe that they could have gone anywhere deeper than that into the woods.
No idea. I had no idea. I'm still searching every day. I'm waiting for information. I have to let them do a lot of their stuff with the aircrafts and everything else, and dogs and searchers. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be coordinated, and I can't just go running through the woods. I want to, but I just can't right now because the searchers are so far out.
And so, Tom, we're just about a kilometer away from where the command site was, and where that command site is, RCMP are leading that investigation, but they're on the search and rescue operation. Running in tandem and kind of parallel is kind of a missing persons investigation that the RCMP is involved in as well. And so as those investigators glean new information based on interviews, maybe they'll find a piece of clothing from home and they'll bring it to the search and rescue site. Any new information, they'll bring it to the search and rescue site, and then they will modify their search and adapt their search and sort of fine-tune.
Okay. So some of the questions that are coming up, and there's some other videos too. Lily and Jack Sullivan's parents believe the children quietly opened the sliding doors and left the house without waking anyone. Within a span of just 20 minutes, they had disappeared. The stepfather began calling their names so loudly and repeatedly that his throat became sore. He searched the property and also checked the area by car. There's many aspects of the story that have raised reasonable questions. The yard is more enclosed than initially suggested. For children aged 6 to 4, especially if they are on the autism spectrum, it may be difficult for them to exit the area in such a short frame of time. Sliding doors are rarely silent. They tend to make noticeable noise when opened or closed. The stepfather mentioned the door was found shut, which is unusual. If the children had gone out through it, if the adults were asleep, how can he be sure that the door was used? Are we even focusing in the right search area? Scent dogs reportedly tracked the children's trail to the end of the driveway. The parents realized the children were missing after 20 minutes and began searching immediately. Anyone who has walked with a 4-year-old knows how slowly they move, especially on uneven terrain. Given the I don't understand how they could have gotten so far. The 6 and 4-year-old. The stepfather claims he searched for hours before contacting police, while the mother stated she had called authorities immediately after discovering the children. It's possible she stayed at home with another child and made the call while he searched, but the discrepancy in their accounts has been noted. Are we certain about the timeline? This is a video here of, let's see, the father speaks over here a little bit. See what he has to say.
Searched, and once that area is covered, they move on, and they say it's important that no one wander in. Incidentally, this search has been the first assignment for the Nova Scotia Provincial Guard. They aren't directly involved in the search, but they're helping with traffic, protection of parked vehicles overnight, and just generally giving directions to people who are coming and going, those involved in the search and rescue effort. Earlier today, we spoke to the partner of the 2 children's.
Yeah, they were reported 10 a.m. on May 2nd. But how long before they noticed? I mean, I see some people claiming 20 minutes, but how do we know 20 minutes? And then the silent sliding door, quiet sliding door. Martel described Lily as possibly wearing a pink sweater, pink pants, pink boots, and carrying a white backpack with strawberries. Jack was believed to be wearing a brown shirt, pants, and blue dinosaur boots. However, some items found during the search, such as clothing and a water bottle, were reported by Martel to not belong to the children, adding to the confusion.
His mother, here's some of what he had to say about Jack and Lily.
Lily and Jack are awesome kids, very, very kind. They'll talk to anyone. They want to go with anyone. They're just looking to have as much fun as they can. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, and anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister.
He says he's also hoping police monitor the New Brunswick border and the airports for any sign of the 2 children. But RCMP tell us this afternoon they're not considering any possible abduction here. As far as they're concerned, they're looking for 2 young children who simply wandered away.
I know that there's a lot of people pulling for these kids to come home. We've heard a lot about the impact that this is having on the community at large and the family, and it's really important that we locate these children and get the information from the scene here and from anyone who might have information about the kids and their habits. So it's been really important to have engagement from anyone who knows these kids.
A spokesperson for the Chignecto Central Regional Center for Education tells us the 2 children were students at Salt Springs Elementary School. Their stepdad told us they'd both been out sick all week before disappearing on Friday.
Both been out sick.
The school
That's interesting too.
Has additional support staff on site at Salt Springs if anyone needs that support.
Them being sick and missing from school days before they went missing from the home. Here's another video of the stepfather.
What he had to say about this situation.
Nonsense said bio dad is in jail and doesn't trust mom or boyfriend. Really? Has he commented on this nonsense? I was wondering about the biological father. They had said that he has no contact. As of now, there's no publicly confirmed information regarding the identity or involvement of Lily and Jack's biological father, their disappearance. So the mother and the stepdad were the primary caregivers. Okay. I'm gonna have to look into that.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone. Immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
So again, the search began with family members and has now expanded to dozens of search and rescue volunteers. About 160 people were on the ground yesterday. There were dogs brought in to try to catch a scent of these two children. There were 8 drone units in the skies searching, as well as a couple of helicopters as well, each one of them equipped with infrared sensors and cameras looking for these children. Now, we heard from police talking about some of the challenging conditions and logistical issues that they are running into with this situation, with the kind of the situation on the ground. Here's what police had to say about this search.
With the wet weather, it makes things a little more complicated for our searchers. Given they're in the woods, it's wet, things are slippery, footing's not the greatest. It's the water's it's not the best, but they're still trudging through and they're still working hard at doing the job that they have to do.
Again, we know that 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan went missing on Friday morning. That is when this search began and when the family reported them missing. And again, the search has been ongoing since that time. Heather.
Brett, I'm sure people following the story closely, those who are close at hand in terms of proximity, what can people do if they're trying and hoping to help?
Yeah, folks might.
Somebody was saying they had driven out to the property 2 hours ago today, and they saw no police presence at the home or in the area. They said they drove around. So people are driving by to see what's going on. Locals, I guess.
Think that, hey, I live nearby, I could hop in the car and go and search through the woods. I can help out as well, but that's not necessarily what officials want. They say this is a very coordinated, very organized search. They know where each one of the crews are. They know the areas that have been searched already and the areas that they are now focusing on. So advising residents to not just drive out and try to help out with the search on their own in the woods. One thing that people can help with is searching their own properties, looking in ditches, culverts, sheds, or any other possible.
There's so many. If there was a foul play situation, there's so many places that somebody could do something, hide something. Some people are saying they don't believe the parents. They're gonna have to dig into them. I mean, I think the Wi-Fi thing is a good thing that they're doing to check. Search audio. I haven't seen this posted yet. Some audio clips throughout the search. Let's take a look at this. Somebody posted a clip from Plenda. She's on YouTube. Let's take a look at this. They clipped her. It's from the search.
Those pieces of cloth, that's what you and I went and with the dog yesterday there when the family brought us up there.
We walk up the gas pipeline trail there, and there's definitely some child-sized boot prints in the mud here that are still visible. They're a bit eroded from the heavy rain, but they're still visible. So, not sure if you'd like us to continue on up the trail or what you'd like to do. Over.
This is Colchester Base calling the K-9 unit tasked to investigate the blanket. Do you copy? Over.
This is Bravo 3. I was with Kilo 2 like 3 seconds ago. He went towards the main road there. We're done at that site. The dog didn't get a track or anything like that. Bravo 3 sees the blanket. Halifax Command, copy on the drone team. I got a point of interest for you. Two key signatures by the water source. Read you off coordinates.
Right, go ahead. But the team looking at, there's two figurines of swans sitting there, painted black, and they must have picked up heat.
Do we know if any of the kids had like stickers on their backpacks? We found a little shiny star sticker over here by a bridge over.
Stand by, that's something I couldn't answer. Stickers for strawberries, you say you found a star?
Yeah, it's like a holographic little star over it.
Interesting. I have to see if I can find their scanner. I don't know if there's anything interesting going on there. This is another audio video clip from the stepfather. Let's take a listen.
Do a polygraph test? Is that on you?
That's not just on me, but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think their side of the family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else.
Flying in someone to do a polygraph test, is that on you?
That's not just on me, but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and
They're willing to do it. I'll do it, man. You want me to do it? I'll do that shit.
A 4-year-old Jack and 6-year-old Lily Sullivan. I just re-listened to the mother's interview, and I am so certain that she and or the stepfather know exactly what happened to those kids. There are so many red flags and inconsistencies with what they're saying. Now, if you don't know the backstory, they were reported missing on Friday, May 2nd at around 10 o'clock in the morning. Apparently, the kids stayed home from school sick on Thursday and again on Friday. The mom and stepdad were in their bedroom with their 18-year-old daughter, but say they could hear the kids playing in the room beside them. And Lily apparently kept coming into the room, but they asked her to stay quiet so the 18-month-old could sleep. And then about 20 minutes later, they noticed they couldn't hear the kids playing.
Hold on. That interview, let me see something. I don't know if this was mother missing. I only saw this clip. I don't know if they have the whole thing. Is this the mother?
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home.
RCMP say there is still no sign of two siblings who are believed to have wandered away from their home in Pictou County. They were last seen at...
Is there a full interview with this lady? I just see the shorts. I don't have to look for that. I don't know if there's a full one or it's just a little short video.
Playing anymore. So they say they got up and started looking everywhere and then called 911. But what they're saying doesn't make any sense at all. I'm going to play for you the mother's interview and then let's break it down.
What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" And he says, "No." And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids.
So first notice that sometimes she says I and other times she says we, and she keeps going back and forth between past and present tense. We woke up, I could hear the kids playing, I was drifting in and out of sleep. So was he not drifting in and out of sleep too? Was he awake the whole time? It all seems very casual to me. You'll notice the first thing she did was try to persuade everybody that they're good parents. We tell them not to go outside by themselves. We're always out there with them, watching them. But they happened to get out the sliding door to go outside and play, but they were unaware at the time because they couldn't hear it. Again, it's all very casual. She gets up, she asks Daniel if he can hear the kids. He says no, and suddenly there is a sense of emergency. She's instantly looking for the kids. He's immediately jumping into his vehicle and looking all over for them. Derek said that anytime the kids go out the sliding door, they always leave it wide open, but this time it was closed. So what makes her think that they were outside playing, especially when they were both apparently asleep? Now, it's apparently almost 10 o'clock on a Friday morning. They didn't set an alarm to get the kids up for school and see if they were still sick and if they could go to school. They didn't get up and...
That's a good point, too. I mean, unless they decided the night before they weren't going to take them. But still, if your kids are sick, I mean, I'm just thinking about when my daughter's sick and it's like a school day or the next day. Yeah, I'm up early and, all right, I'm going to check the temperature. If there was a fever, check the temperature, how you feeling, whatever. At some point, do like a little check. Unless the night before you knew, but the timing is impeccable. The timing, because if it was an abduction, let's say if it was because it could be an abduction, it could be they walked off or the parents did something. But if it was an abduction, somebody would have had to know these kids are sick and missing school. Or they just got incredibly lucky. The coincidence would be crazy. Or the kids walked off. But if the kids walked off, you would think they would be found by now. There was that autistic kid a long time ago. We covered the story that this kid that they found him in a river. It was a really fast-paced river. It took a long time to find him. Everybody thought it was the parents, foul play or whatever. That kid ended up in the river. But this place, I don't know. It does seem like kind of enclosed. Supposedly, let's see here. Oh, I hate that paint. I'm about to uninstall Paint. Supposedly, this is the back sliding door, and I think this chick says it that it doesn't look like no quiet sliding door. This rickety shack. Whatever that is, right? And there's like this like shed here. This is the swings would be right here, I think. They're saying the kids went out this back door, and then this part's fenced. It's kind of fenced off. It looks like, you know. I mean, I guess. All right.
Feed any of the kids breakfast. They both mentioned what the kids are most likely wearing, so did they get up and dress themselves? They say Jack would be in a pull-up, so nobody got up and changed it in the morning. And if the story they're giving is true and they really were in the bedroom and have no idea what happened to the kids, why did she leave to go stay with family in a different county in the province and block him on all social media? Another thing that's
the thing I think is interesting, that they're not communicating. That she and him are not talking anymore, supposedly.
Sitting right with me is in her interview. She says they're go-lucky kids and they'll talk to anybody in the store and they'll just talk your ear off. She's painting the picture that they're trusting of strangers, so possible abduction. But yet, I haven't seen any interview where either of the parents are asking, if you have our children, please bring them back. There's no crying, begging, bargaining, nothing. And I think that's because both of them know those kids weren't abducted. Of course.
Let me replay that. This is the mother.
Just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us. And I was drifting in and out of sleep, and they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware.
Yeah, how would you know they're outside playing? Because she said that they don't let them go out alone. They went out they must have went out. How would you know if you weren't paying attention?
Just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep, and they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them, and they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens, and they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time, and the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone.
That's kind of a little. What's that? Oh, this Facebook's all weird. If you pause it, it'll start playing the next video. That's kind of a little strange. I mean, I don't know. Is that normal? Just the emphasis on they'll talk to anybody. They'll walk up to you. They'll talk to everybody and anybody. It is almost like what this person on TikTok was saying in a way. Didn't the boyfriend say he drove around and searched before calling 911? Here's a question for you. Why did the aunt say that the kids were nonverbal and shy? Is that what the aunt said? Oh, Lord. And why wouldn't speak to anybody, but yet the mother is saying that the kids were not shy, that they're very talkative and talk to everybody. So who's telling the truth and who's lying? And if the aunt is lying, why would she be lying? And the aunt is the sister of the biological father. By any chance, would they know where the children are? Would the biological father have them? Somebody said he's locked up, but I don't know if that's true. I think he said he drove around while she called 911.
I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the
Jeff Monhay donated $5 through Super Chat.
Going on right now.
Not buying it. The parents are involved. Person shoving emoji.
Crazy. Thank you, Jeff, for the 5.
But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful.
I think it's pretty strange, the whole sick thing. That stands out to me. The children were kept home on May 1st and May 2nd due to illness. The timing is that's a hell of a, I guess it's a coincidence if we're trying to be. Yeah. School's closed. I mean, the timing. So they went to school April 29th. On the 30th, school was closed. So they had all day on the 30th. They had all day on the 30th. They had all day May 1st. Because they were sick with a cough. Lily or the kids were sick. And then May 2nd in the morning when 911 was called.
But there's always In a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds.
This is exactly what I said, and somebody here said it in the comment section. They couldn't hear her. They couldn't hear the sliding door, but they were outside playing. How do you know they were outside playing if you didn't know they got out? That's exactly what I was saying. Like, that part didn't make sense to me. I was like, did I hear that wrong? She said they didn't know they were playing outside at the time, which would indicate they gained knowledge after the fact. Okay, maybe that's due to the investigation, possible witness. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe. Somebody said, I never heard a quiet sliding door in my life. Judging by the state of the trailer they live in, unlikely. Maybe it's like a brand new sliding door. I don't know, right? Like a very...
So their names are Lily and Jack Sullivan. She's 6 and he's 4. They were last seen on Friday, May 2nd at their home. The reports are stating that neither of them went to school on Thursday because they were sick and they were staying home again on Friday. This is their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray. She said on that morning, she and her partner, Daniel, were in their bedroom along with their 18-month-old daughter, and that Lily had come into the room several times, but they asked her to be quiet because they were dozing in and out of sleep and they wanted the baby to sleep. But about 20 minutes later, they noticed they couldn't hear the kids playing anymore.
They happened to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911.
Now, what I want to know is if she and Daniel are dozing in and out of sleep, how does she know the kids went outside to play? And she said they immediately went outside and began looking for the kids, but this is what her boyfriend had to say about it.
Last few days are very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning when we noticed that the children were gone. Immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
He also said, a few minutes went by, I heard nothing. Got up, went into the kitchen, checked everything. I seen they weren't there. Checked their bedrooms, and they weren't there. So I looked out the backyard. That's the only place they would go, and their boots were gone. The door, the sliding door, was closed. Usually they don't close the door. I usually have to remind them to close the door over and over, he says. Martel says he then jumped in the vehicle and started looking for them. I want to show you guys what their house looks like. It's totally surrounded by woods. There have been helicopters out, over 150 people searching by foot. Drones flying at night that have infrared technology that can detect changes in temperature. There's been dogs. Even the Nova Scotia Guard is helping look for these kids. Now, this is interesting to me. The mom and the stepdad have been together for 3 years, but after the kids went missing, she left to go spend time with family in another province, and he stayed back. And apparently, she's blocked him from all social media. He said that people are blaming him, saying that he did something to the kids and his mom has had to kick people off of the property. And he pretty much said that he doesn't understand why anybody would think that he's done something to the kids because he's the one who's still there helping look for them. Now, here's another thing I found interesting. It was originally reported that the kids are autistic and don't really talk to people a lot. Right. But in the mother's interview, she said that they're very talkative, they'll talk to anybody, and that they don't know a stranger. So, which is it? I don't know, the whole thing's just...
I don't know who said the kids are nonverbal. It's just... It's been a week.
It's been a week since Lily and Jack Sullivan went missing from their home in Nova Scotia, Canada. And I just reviewed everything that's been released so far about this case, and there's still so much that doesn't add up and so many red flags. I wrote down a list of questions that I have, and I'm going to read them to you because I'm sure a lot of you have the exact same questions. 1, where do they work? Because both of them were apparently still in bed at 10 o'clock on a Friday morning. Do they not have jobs, or were they just both off that day? 2, they said the kids didn't go to school on Thursday. Lily was sick. She had a cough. Did they not set an alarm on Friday morning to check and see if she was well enough that she could go to school? If she was better, then why didn't she go to school? And if she wasn't better, then why didn't somebody get out of bed to take care of her? 3, if she was still sick, would she really want to play, especially outside? 4, there were 3 kids, Lily, who is 6, Jack, who is 4, and their daughter, who is 18 months old. Did nobody get up and feed these kids breakfast? 5, they have made mention of what the kids would have been wearing that morning. Did they help them get dressed, or did these little kids dress themselves? 6, if they were really asleep, then how do they know the kids went out the back door to play? How do they know they didn't go out the front? In case you missed it the other day, this is a picture of the back sliding door. And as you can see, there's actually 2 doors in the back. So how do they know they went out the slider and not that one over there? Or the front of the house. The mom specifically said they went out the back sliding door to play, but they were unaware of it at the time. How do they know it was that door? Especially when Daniel says when the kids would go out that door, they would always leave it open and he'd have to remind them to close it. But this time, it was closed. So what makes her think they went out that door? 7, if they truly believe the kids were abducted, why are neither of them on TV begging and pleading for their safe return? 8, why on earth would the mother have left to go stay with family in a different county in the province?
Yeah, that's crazy too.
The stepfather has stayed back. He's doing all the interviews, but nobody has seen anything from her since that very first interview. People are saying that she left because she was told to, and that she's not talking to anybody because she was advised not to. Which honestly doesn't make any sense to me. This isn't a criminal investigation. It's not like she's scared to talk because anything she says can or will be used against her. And I don't know about you, but if my children were missing, especially if I thought that they were abducted and somebody had them, I would be speaking to everybody that would possibly listen to me because I'd want the entire damn planet to know my children's faces, their ages, the fact that they're gone, and the fact that I will not stop until I get them back. Again, there is so much with this case that doesn't make any sense at all. What do you think? It's been
the other thing too is so the layout of the property. So you have here, this is where the kids were staying. The mom, stepdad, Lily, Jack, and a newborn. Then this is like the backyard here, some type of shed, chickens, and over here there's another RV. It says stepdad's brother / mother's home. So there was another thing. I think his brother stayed here. Maybe the mother too. I don't know. There's another little RV on the property. And it's weird because, yeah, it looks like everything's kind of, if they would have went out the back, which would have been here, it would have been fenced in. Unless something was left open or she unlocked. It just doesn't make sense. This the whole thing. I don't know. That they were taken randomly from here. Or that they wandered off that far. Strange. And now it's been quite a bit of time that's passed. Let's take a look, I guess, at the press conference. We'll skim through it. We'll listen to it. We'll just skip forward a bit.
No problem. Should be okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. Sorry. Good afternoon. I am Corporal Carly McCann, Provincial Public Information Officer for the Nova Scotia RCMP. Thank you all for being here today. Bonjour, je suis la caporale Carly McCann, agent d'information publique pour la GRC en Nouvelle-Écosse. Merci de votre présence aujourd'hui. First, I acknowledge that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional and unceded ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. I also recognize that African Nova Scotians are a distinct people whose histories, legacies, and contributions have enriched that part of Mi'kma'ki known as Nova Scotia for over 400 years. Premièrement, je reconnais que nous nous trouvons aujourd'hui à Mi'kma'ki, le territoire ancestral traditionnel et non cédé du peuple Mi'kmaq. Je reconnais également que les néo-écossais d'origine africaine
the hell's going on?
Inspector Mike Ingles, District Policing Officer for Northeast Nova District RCMP. Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon, Pictou County District Commander. Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon, Acting Officer in Charge of Major Crimes and Behavioral Sciences Group. And Amy Hansen, Search Manager with Colchester Ground Search and Rescue. Sergeant will review the search and investigation that began on Friday morning and provide the current status and next steps. We will take questions from media present following that. I invite Staff Sergeant McKinnon to the podium. J'invite maintenant le Sergent d'État McKinnon à prendre la parole. Merci.
Today. First of all, our thoughts go to the family and loved ones of Lily and Jack Sullivan, to their communities, and to everyone who's worked day and night in an effort to find the children and bring them home. Since the first 911 call was received by the RCMP, reporting that 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack had wandered away from their home on Garlick Road and Lansdowne Station, a multi-agency search has been underway. Teams have been working around the clock. This search has included many agencies, including volunteer ground search and rescue teams from across Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, the Civil Air Search and Rescue Association, known as CASERA, Department of Natural Resources Air Services, Nova Scotia Public Safety and Field Communications, Nova Scotia Guard, Joint Rescue Coordination Center, Salvation Army, the Police Dog Services, and person files as suspicious until our investigation leads us to determine otherwise. Our Major Crimes Unit has been engaged. It's been an all-hands-on-deck effort using every available resource and tool. Since the search began on May 2nd, it has been concentrated in the Garlick Road area and has covered 4 square kilometers of heavy, wooded, rural terrain. Up to 160 trained volunteer searchers, along with many others, have been involved in the search each day. Tens of thousands of search hours have been dedicated to scouring the area, and GSAR has confirmed that over 100 tracks has been laid using GPS and grid searches. Efforts to locate Lily and Jack have also included 2 vulnerable missing person alerts, posting their children's photos and information on Nova Scotia RCMP website and social media accounts. Our social accounts have more than 300,000 followers, and releasing information to local media as well as reporters across the country. Lily and Jack have made headlines from coast to coast. While the search has been ongoing, RCMP officers continued with the missing person investigation, speaking with family and community members to gather tips and other information that could help locate the children. We have not received any confirmed reports of sightings. Lily and Jack's family has been provided with regular updates on the search and on the missing person investigation. They've also been afforded supports. As of today, May 7th, the active search efforts to locate Lily and Jack will be scaled back. We're transitioning from a full-scale search to searches of more specific spaces that have already been searched by our teams. We want to circle back to increase the probability that all clues have been found. And when transitioning from an active search to a scaled-back search, the probability of survival is taken into consideration. I want to assure you that our missing persons investigation continues. We're not packing up, and we're not giving up. Our investigation is broad, and it won't end until we know where Lily and Jack are and can bring them home. We'll continue to investigate and chase leads for as long as and as hard as we have to. We have the best investigators working every aspect of the file. We continue to appeal to anyone who have information related to our investigation and who has not yet spoken to us to contact the Pictou County District RCMP at 902-485-4333 or Crime Stoppers. Before I close, I want to reiterate that our hearts go out to Lily and Jack's family, to the community, and the people who've worked so incredibly hard to date. Many of us have children of our own and have wanted nothing more than to reunite Lily and Jack with their loved ones. Thank you.
Remarks in French. Merci à tous les qui ont été lancés sur la casse disponible. Depuis le début, effectué pour recueillir de grande échelle où se trouve de tout court avec la period for the
Ron for iCkEdMeL. You said you're going over areas that you've already seen. What's the purpose of that? When before that you were telling us you were extending the search, and if you could say it in French and in English.
If you'd like to start in English, I'll repeat in French.
What we'll be doing is we'll be continuing on. Just because today the search is being scaled back, we still will continue on, and we will go back to areas that we feel that we may need to re-look at, and we may expand out if there's any type of information that leads us to believe that we need to do that.
So if you'd like to follow up,
Like why? Like how would that help you to specifically go to places that have been searched by hundreds of people, like you're saying? Like how could that help you find new links?
Yeah, because of the terrain, there could be different types of things that we may want to try and get back in if we are able to locate anything that may come up that the searchers didn't go catch the first time. But we will do everything we can to try and find Jack and Lily. Yeah, and based on the weather, the season changes, we don't want to leave, and we're not leaving. It's just that this part of this search is being scaled back.
So, en français, on continue de faire la recherche dans les
search area, and major crime is also here. And having not found these children, having done a very thorough search, can you tell us like the role of major crime in this, and what you can tell us about that investigation?
Rob McCammon, Robert, and MCCAMON is the last name. So major crime became involved very early in the investigation. We're able to bring in some specialized knowledge and skill sets, and we help with the information management and decision making. As we scale back, as we've identified, there are certain areas that are going to be relooked at that could contain a confined area perhaps, and maybe need some more specialized search areas. But I'll leave that to the search crews to expand on. And we're going to continue pursuing any leads or information that comes in, and the stuff that we do have. We have engaged in all areas of the RCMP. All tools that are available to us are being considered and engaged when appropriate.
Do you have a follow-up?
Yeah, as a follow-up, that I guess the general population looks at it and says, you've searched very thoroughly this area.
Mm-hmm.
You would have found them if they were there, which then makes people, certainly on social media, people are assuming, rightly or wrongly, that there's a criminal element to this.
Sure.
And can you, I know, what can you tell me about that, your work on that potential?
Well, I can't really speculate on the investigation, obviously. That wouldn't be fair to the process. But we are constantly reviewing everything that's been done, looking at all different facets of available information, and we'll make decisions on that. I can't really comment on the details of that, but we will pursue every lead that becomes available and take it to where it needs to go. So.
Thank you. So is there a question? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, Nicholas Sagan with CBC National News. You've at first said it wasn't suspicious, you think the kids just wandered off. Now you're saying every missing person's investigation is considered suspicious. Is it still suspicious? Are there any suspects here?
Again, I'm not going to comment on the details of the investigation, but I will comment, when somebody goes missing and we become engaged as any police officer, not just major crime, we will look at all the details and make considerations on the information we have, right? When it comes to a missing person, we have to automatically consider those, are there people that have different charter implications and things like that? So we will automatically start to consider what evidence is pointing us towards a suspicious in nature. Again, I can't comment more than that, but every missing person case, we would approach it from the same process. A methodical collection and review of information with decisions based on that.
And the family has said they believe it's an abduction, or they suspect it's an abduction. Are there now any clues or anything leading you to think that that might be possible?
If we had any information that led that way and we felt that we could provide anything with the public, we would have done that. We would have got that information out. We're working very closely with the family, and we will pursue every avenue. But again, I'm not going to make any specific comments, but anything that would point towards that, we would immediately take steps to address things that need to be addressed.
Blair Rhodes with CBC. I think this question is most appropriate to Staff Sergeant. You talked about survivability. I was wondering if you could address that specifically, given the ages of the two missing children and the weather conditions we've experienced this week.
Yeah, so the incident command person with the RCMP, along with the search manager, at some point have to make a decision when would it scale back this search. And a number of factors would have to take consideration, and they would, based upon scientific information that they have, to deem when that time has to come, and that is now. And a lot of those factors come into play would be the age of the missing persons, the weather, how long it's been, what area has been covered. So at that point, they have to make a decision on that.
I hate to ask this, but given their age and the conditions, if they were still in the woods, do you think they would still be allowed?
I guess it goes back to all those factors that have to come into play, right? So we are scaling back because it's time to move to a different part of the search.
First off, sir, Paul Holmes from CTV. Scale back versus active search. I know yesterday there was a number at or around 140 searchers on the ground, four square kilometers, you said. Can you quantify what scaled back is? Like fewer searchers, smaller area, larger area? How does that look going forward?
Yeah, so just to go to the first point, there's been a lot of searchers here, and we can't thank them enough for being here. They've given up. A lot of them have been here since day one, and they have given up. Some have taken time off work, some have left their families behind, and we are very grateful for that. Saying that, we will look in on them and their senior managers to give us some recommendations of what else we can do. But we will take that and we will explore whatever we have and whatever we can do to check in spots that need to be checked or whatever. But at this point in time, after today, we just won't see all these searchers here.
Sure. Amy, if you're comfortable with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw a person yesterday who was dressed like you, limping, being carried out. People were hot and sweaty to the south doing a lot of hard work. Can you talk about how rough it was in the woods?
People don't feel good. People sick.
What did you see, or what did your people and your team see when you went into this wilderness?
Well, these woods, they are very thick. There's a lot of the hurricane damage from Fiona a couple of years ago, and we've had teams struggling to get through areas, and I can't say anything more about the searchers. They're pushing through all of these areas, going through all of these deadfalls, going through waterways and anything possible just to cover their search areas. So we know that everything has been so thoroughly searched that it's time to, as they say, scale back. And we are exhausting people. We're starting to see more injuries coming back the last couple of days. And it's hard terrain. Amy Hansen.
And
S-E-N.
And I will note as well, having had the opportunity to participate yesterday in a helicopter search as well, it is immensely clear looking from above, based on the orange tags on the trees, how thoroughly and meticulously the area has been searched based on the indications you can see even from up in the air of how thorough the searches are. So I also give a hats off to the many searchers who have participated here in support of finding Lily and Jack. Yeah, would you like to go ahead?
Just with the search still continuing in the forest, is there evidence that the children are in the forest?
That's a good question. Yeah, is it any? It's not.
Very slowly.
You good?
Are radios able to pick up Staff Sergeant McKinnon here with this train? Or? That's it, okay. We'll
wait.
We'll wait for it to pass.
Side effect of safety, we have to slow down.
So I'll make it
What else?
I'll note as well the reason that the train is passing by slowly is out of respect for the fact that Lily and Jack are missing here. So it's passing slow in order to have their staff be aware and note the ongoing missing person investigation happening in the area here. So that just does again speak to the number of people involved and aware of this search and everything that's happening in this area, and the awareness and the way that the information has spread so widely through Nova Scotia and Canada. So I think we were with your question. Okay. Have we found any evidence that they are?
Yeah, so at one point there was a possible boot impression found, and I can tell you that the search and rescues then performed grid searches of that area and expanded out from that area in a meticulous fashion. They're focused and tight searches, and nothing else was found.
And did you believe that the evidence you found was from your children?
It appeared it was a possible boot print of a smaller boot print. So when we have a possibility like that, that's when we exhaust that area as well. So make sure that that wasn't a clue that we were missing.
Thank you. Lindsay Armstrong with Canadian Press. I'm wondering, I understand K9 unit has been involved. Have cadaver dogs been involved at this point?
I don't believe cadaver dogs have been involved at this point yet.
Will they become involved?
Okay, cadaver dog.
Like to
This was
go back to Blair's question on survivability. If you could give a little bit more detail there about how you're making the equation, bringing in cadaver dogs and assessing survivability.
So cadaver dogs could be the next step in terms of part when we talk about scaling back. That could be another option that we now look at using. And getting back to that point, I mean, that decision was made based on a lot of factors. And if we thought they were alive right now, we'd still be out there.
Does that mean that no plans yet?
Not that I'm aware I can speak to of if the cadaver dogs are coming or not. I can't speak to it.
Thank you. Is there a question here? No. Well, so George, do you two have something global? No. Okay.
I do.
Sure.
Hi.
Thank you.
I'm Lindsay Jones with the Globe and Mail. Wondering if you can clarify, we heard major crime has been involved since Sunday, is that correct?
Saturday morning.
Since Saturday, okay. So do you believe the children have met foul play?
Do you want to talk?
Again, I'm not going to comment on specifics of the investigation. We're going to continue on, and when we get to a point that we've got information that we're able to make any decisions that are able to be public, we'll let you know at that time. But right now, I'm not going to comment on specifics. So.
Okay, so, but you don't believe the children are alive anymore?
No, based on the experts and the review of the facts, the inclement weather, the time frames, and their age, the likelihood that they're alive right now is very low.
Okay, and can I just ask one more question about the scaling back of the search? Are you reducing the number of searchers out there, or is it being concentrated just with RCMP now, or how is that looking differently on the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. So the searchers will be finishing at the end of their operational period today, and now it'll come back to the Pictou District RCMP, and we'll make decisions and put in plans of how we move forward.
So rather than having the large presence here, the massive number of searchers on scene every day, searches will be based on information that comes in and specifics in order to make things pointed and specific to areas that are pinpointed or specific to a search need in the area. I believe we've gone through the group for questions at this point. So out of respect for the police officers here and the many searchers who are still there, I'd like to conclude our media availability today. Oh, sorry, is there one person with... Sorry, my apologies, sorry.
Alex Terrio, Stingray Radio. You mentioned you're circling back to find clues. You talked about the blueprint. Are there anything you're looking to find, expecting to find, or usually find in these situations?
We're looking for any type of clue, any information to help us out. And then we'll take that information and work forward from that.
Second follow-up, is the blueprint still involved in the search process, or was that deemed to be not relevant?
I can't say it's not relevant, but it was the search was exhausted in that area, and we were not able to find any more clues or evidence in that area. So.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, can you clarify? You just said to the previous question that the ground search and rescue is being called, like the volunteers are being called off after today?
Yes, at the end of the operational period today, they will be done.
Can you see that in French?
À la fin de la session aujourd'hui.
I guess that's it on that. Yeah, very strange, very strange. They've been missing for a while now, over a week. And to me, it doesn't seem like anything significant that they've found. And stepfather has offered, I'll take a lie detector test, I'll take drugs. And they're looking at the wireless router. Or drug test. I think he said drugs. Take a drug test. Very strange. Definitely going to follow the story and keep an eye on it. For those that followed us with the standoff ended this morning, actually. That almost 2-day, 36-hour something standoff. I guess the guy ended up surrendering. Very strange. Experts Q&A. Experts Q&A. Let me see here. Experts shed light on difficulty finding the missing children. Okay. Good solid investigation. Usually the next thing is to know the age group. 75% of children are 1.2 kilometers away. If you want to go far enough to find 95%, then there's a dramatic jump. Because now you're starting to get into the outliners, and that number is 6.6 kilometers away, which drastically increases the search area. I don't know, man. Sus. Very sus. And why are the mother and stepdad not talking anymore?
On May
Lily and Jack Sullivan. Mom attacks stepdad claim. All right. Well, this is a story that everybody's talking about. So we'll keep an eye on it to see for updates, whether it's live streams or short videos. True, good question. Well, they could, the last time confirmed, I guess, would be the school. I don't know after that. That would have been April 29th. Thank you for this subscribing, guys. Appreciate it. He would never give hope. All right, I'm gonna cut it off for now. I'll catch you guys later. We'll see what pops off with the stories. We'll keep an eye on this one. Hopefully they get to the bottom of this. I hope this doesn't just continue. You need the Discord link. Tell me if this link works. Hold on, let me see. First, the website should have the link, but I'm gonna send you what the link is on the website so you can test it out for me. iCkEdMeL.com. You scroll down. Discord. Let's see. That should work. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. See, let me know, Layla, if that link works. Thank you, Petty Kitty. Daniel's mom, who lives on the property, saw them playing outside that morning. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lady Lexi. I'm going to check my emails later, too. If you have any information about the story or videos I should check out, on the website, there's a submit a tip area at the top. Submit a tip. You can submit a tip there, or whatever information. Some people were telling me they were getting rejected, so the web person should have fixed it. But if you want to leave something, information, a link, whatever, you can, and this will send to me. If you want to send something over, information over. never heard of that channel. St. Lawrence channel? Really? Melissa, that scratch under the stepdad's eye, I thought he's had that mark for a while. I could browse Facebook a little bit. I'm trying to get my Facebook situation sorted out because they put me in Facebook jail. The only thing I can do is send out text messages on my Facebook page. Me let them know too. SOS. I'm in Facebook. That's the only thing I can send is text posts. I'm making another account so I can make posts and stuff like that. But Sullivan. That's the other thing too. There were no other recent photos of him right before the kids went missing. Yeah, I don't know how new or old those photos are. Post a map of Canada, you will see St. Lawrence River. Oh, okay. I know this thing over here. They're checking this Lansdowne Lake. Checking this, but it's quite a bit away. I guess they could have made it that far. I guess on foot. It's a lot of trees and woods. Any trails back here? What about by the lake? Nova Scotia. All right, guys. Take care, man. It worked? Good. Thank you for letting me know. Perfect. All right, guys. I'm out of here. I'll catch you later. Thank you so much for joining me. Hit like, subscribe, please. And I'll keep you posted. Peace. Bye. Bloop, bloop. Be safe. Be safe. Happy Saturday. 5 years ago, a little boy went missing around the area. Dylan, his boots were found in the brook.